Welcome to the program Community Conversations with me, Ishmael Mkandla. Today my guest is Mr. Winos Dube, who is the chairperson of BURA United Residents Association. Welcome to the program, Babu Dube.
Thank you, Mkandla.
My first question is I would like to know the history and mission of BURA.
Umhlangano wethu weBulawayo United Resident Association ngumhlangano omdala olesikhathi ukhona ngoba umhlangano ozelwe ngomnyaka ka1964 6 August wazalwa ngabadoda lamanina leso sikhathi ababa lombono abakwazi ukuthi kuyadingakala ubana abantu bakoBulawayo kuyadinga ukuthi babuye ndawonye bakhulume bendawonye ngalizwi linye bedinga ukubana uBulawayo athuthuke kanjani. Inhloso yayo yaba yiyo leyo kumela izikhalazo zabantu. Ungakhumbula leso sikhathi ama-council ayengaphansi kwabamhlophe kuphela. Abantu abansundu babengalandlela yokubana bangene ku-council. Yikho-ke basebekubona-ke abaleso sikhathi ukuthi kakufonywe umhlangano wabizwa ngokuthi iBulawayo United Resident Association uhlose ukukhulumela umuntu abangabahlali bakoBulawayo. Imbali yakho ninde singayilandisa ngoba ungakwazi ukuhlala kwangaleso sikhathi kwakungavunyelwa abantu abangomama edorobheni, abantu babengalazi mathuba ukubana babe lezindlu babe lama ownership, kwakukunengi. So basebebona kungakhanela umhlangano lo kwafonywa yiwo lokufayithe lokuphusha ubana abantu babe balawo lamalungelo ubana bahlonipheke kwaze kwafika ke even independence continue ke kwaba lama resident association namanye wonke amaningi, but i-resident yakuqala elizweni yiBulawayo United Resident Association from 1964.
Then the second question is I would like to know my initiatives of BURA. What has BURA been doing as a residents association?
Like asikhulume ngento okuthiwa i-house ownership. I-initiative yeBulawayo United Resident Association befight ubana abantu kababe lelungelo lokubana babe lezindlu ezinye zabo bangahlali ngokurenta kuphela. Ngemanye ama-initiatives ayenziwe khonokho ukuthi abantu bahlonipheke bazuze ukubana bavunyelwe ubana baphile phakathi komuzi wakoBulawayo. Ngumhlangano nalo wezakhamizi owafayithe zona lezi zinto. Ungananzelele ekuqaliseni kokhona abawuqalayo bagcina besiba good national politics, and abaningi babo barise baze baba ngama-leaders at very high level. I can just give you a good example. Its founding Secretary General, the late Vice President John Landankomo. Its founding chairman, the late national hero Unaison Kuchekai, and these people who actually moved Baba Baraiza, having started ukusebenzela abantu. But the truth about leadership is, first of all, you need a self-commitment. Commit yourself without expecting any reward. A reward that one will be looking forward to. You bukangelele into tugole development.
Recently we have noticed price hikes, and the BURA issued a statement calling for abantu to boycott price hikes, to not buy from abantu abakhwezileyo. What exactly is the position?
I-position yethu njengobukhokheli bezakhamizi phakathi komuzi wakoBulawayo, we just got a shock to ourselves. Just waking up in the morning one day, you find things are just skyrocketing. Uzibuza ukuthi kanti sokwenze njani? More so coming after a very successful election, where we've had a very successful, peaceful election. If anything, our expectations about things ngemva kwalokho kufanele zibonakale ziflow nje sokusiba mnandi bese sikhangela uluju lobisi. But very disappointedly uthi ubona izinto zibokuvuka lo first Saturday sokuthi ama-prices izinto sezikhwele double kwatintini kwezindawo kusavunywa ama-systems afakwe uhulumende akontrola kusetshenziswa i-cocash kusetshenziswa amabhondi lawa sokuthi abantu abasafuneki. Sesizibuza ukuthi kanti pho manje abantu kuthiwa siye ngabi, the ordinary person siye ngabi. We don't know, nobody has informed the people ukuthi this is what we are going into now, so fanele expecting lokho. Yikho sisithi thina ngenxa yokuthi just because no one communicates, we are made to speculate with, okay, there are some people who are now wanting just to profit here out of abantu. Sesikhumbula umume sake sawubona. That's why we are calling upon ukuthi abantu babe united, babe really purpose of unity, babonke. How can we really intervene and make sure that we rather suppress into le ingazaya phambili? Sithi nabantu ka ba boycott esekeleni, sihlaleleni esekeleni bahlalela ama prizes abo lawo, and then perhaps a reason will come out ukuthi kuyini okwenzakalayo ngoba the ordinary person is now suffering.
Likhuluma ukuthi abantu kungcono bazihlalele bangadingi, but does that actually help the situation?
The truth of the matter, will help the situation, but that's a way of sending a message to those that are in authority. They must really appreciate and see what we want to see those that are in authority coming in as immediate locals and Masinyana come up with solutions to say what is being done to alleviate this predicament that is on the ground. They say affect abantu nganga. I tell you, people are really affected.
Yes.
People are really affected. Prices amakhombi asekhweli, we are saying honest why ngoba la nxa sikhangele ama advert abafakayo kuma garage i-prices akutshengisa ukuthi i-price ikhwelile. Yebo kwezindawo yabona ngoba vele into ebesenzakala sibona kukhwele ngani namhla kudlula ngesenti lapha soku 10 but wasengasizange sizwe announcement from the government ukuthi there's a new price ye-petrol that has affected this season. Also kuphonga urana nje izinto ngani kakula government that is in place to control things for the people. As citizens, perhaps we need to send a message.
Yes. But has the call been successful? Abantu, are they hitting to the call?
I-response ngetholayo abantu abaningi abaphendulayo banye betshengisa ubana bayavumelana lakho sibili labo, they are really in shock nezehlakalo. Abanye ngiyathola ukuthi bathi emgwaqweni noma bayama sibili imota lezingazisiza ngathi bahle bafuna ukuzwisisa ukuthi ngizabhadala malini athi amthethe mina ngile 50 cents okutshengisela ukuthi abantu bakwenza njalo futhi ukhanya benza kodwa kukhona abanye abantu bethu asifanani nomunye abezenza ukuthi yena mina njahile kakhulu. That's why sisithi thina if only ngabantu we can just be united, see reason within a day siyakulungisa lokho ngoba sonke nxa singathi hayi amasila ama 50 cents ke siwokhe nini nje sithi hayi sizasihambela ngezinyawo zethu. Laba nje abantu abatsha nje abasakwazi ukuthi bahambe ngezinyawo zabo basezinyawo zabo. So but the response, I'm sure most people are really trying their level best. Even though kudla emashop khona lokho, I want to believe ukuthi la nxa ungakhuluma la emashop they will agree ukuthi i-business yabo within these days because ama prices is no longer as usual. Ngokutshengisa ukuthi abantu they are actually trying to limit ebekhathi labantu berealize ukuthi umuntu usedinga into eyibona ukuthi important key necessary ayikhona nje ukubhaya randomly like that.
Yeah. Have you lobbied other CSOs maybe to on a similar note of price hikes, so they should call upon their members to boycott the price hikes?
Yes, I think what we have done, we just hope and we have seen, like as I'm telling you, responses are there as far as from Victoria Falls. As far as from Ubo Western Nick, people really indicating, yes, we are really agree with the opposition. BURA. We hope if we could really do that. Yes. And we believe like your question, come to your question, to have engaged amanyama associations. But by sending this word, it's community abantu bekhangele good social media, they are actually reading these things babona ukuthi kuthwani ngoba abanye bonke uyezwa ngoba umuntu nxa uzophendula umuntu ose-false ukuthi we are totally in agreement with your statement which is sokuhambile. Yes, I'm sure lamanye ama-organization la babone reason yakhona njengathi they should give support to that. Ngoba into esiyenzayo, we are trying to send a message ukuthi izinto kazilungi. So we as Zimbabweans want to see things run the best way as sonke siphile in a fair manner.
Now looking at service delivery Bulawayo, what are the challenges that are facing Bulawayo as far as service delivery is concerned? Right.
When you ask me what are the challenges, it becomes very difficult since I'm not in council to know why they are not giving me. Mina as a resident and a ratepayer, yes. I expect nothing but 100% service delivery right around. But the truth of the matter, we all do appreciate the difficulties that are there within our economy in our country. It's no secret that our country has been going through a difficult spell of with an economic downfall. Right, we are saying our challenges akhona. My expectations that the foremost thing that really worries us is the issue of water. When you talk about Mobulayo, is the issue of water. We are still looking forward and still lobbying heavily for a permanent solution. Long term, Eveli corner that has been talked about, which was first muted way back in 1912, is Zambezi ward. But this project has been hanging and hanging and hanging. And as residents and ratepayers of Bulawayo were saying, we want to see this come to finality. We want to see the Zambezi water coming. We want to see the government really intervening and make sure that even in its budget, there is an allocation towards this project, because it's a very important project which we believe when it's in full operation is going really to provide a lot of livelihood to the people, not only in Bulawayo, all the way from Zambezi, passing through Mat North, and I'm sure even go beyond. And because ultimately what we are looking forward to seeing is there should be a connection between Zambezi and Limpopo passing through this region, and we will see region is ever promoted the experience, the green world which we are really looking forward to having. Green, there is life. Always green is associated with life, and where there is green, where there is farming and things of that nature, we are hoping and looking forward to having a better life for our people. Those are some of the expectations that we are really looking for. And the good service delivery, we look forward road infrastructure within the city. It really needs to be really looked seriously. That's a one key area. We must really say we're thankful to the intervention of the government by chipping into local authorities, giving them money from Zinara. We have seen our council here have done, yes, much effort, especially with the main roads that link and come into the city. But we are still having a concern as residents. The roads that run in within our areas of residence, within the locations, is very bad. There is so much need that these roads need to be attended really seriously. And it's an issue that we are lobbying, and we will lobby the council really to look into that one seriously and give it a priority. Garbage collection, that's one area that we are really, because check of late now, there are talks of outbreaks of diseases. Thank to Bulawayo for its effort that perhaps we are still not having much of these outbreaks of diseases such as cholera, which is being experienced in Harare. It is just because of the efforts that are being tried, but we are saying more should be done. Even when attending to refuse collection, refuse collection, it must really be up. It must be up. Talk of attendance to sewer best. That should really be the priority that the council should really always give attention, because if we lack there, we are likely to see Bulawayo coming down seriously.
We have a new leadership in terms of former councillors for Bulawayo. What are your expectations from them?
We expect councillors who will rise above board in their operation, their day-to-day operation. I want to send a strong message to the councillors. From the past experience, I'm not judging the current lot. We haven't seen them. It will be very unfair for us to pinpoint and say they are lacking here and here. But we are monitoring them very closely. But we want to give them a challenge and say, we want to see them rising above their party politics and really focus on Bulawayo and developing Bulawayo and its people. We want to see councillors that will avoid corruption at all costs. That's why in some sectors you are hearing a call of saying councillors must declare their assets and so forth, because we want to see. You came into councillors Dube, we know you are having this Dube, you are cycling on your back. Within a week when you've just come into council, we'll see you flying, you are now having a jet. You are saying, honestly, how did you come to that? Those are some of the things that we really want. We are not trying to say councillors should not develop themselves like anybody else. Well, you develop yourself, but corruption. The past lot of councillors, that especially the last council that we had, it is the first of its kind in the history of this city that we have had a council that failed to go through its term of office in full, in their totality, because some members were affected, as they were expelled just because of being involved in corrupt tendencies. And quite a number of them at a certain stage, they were suspended, and we are saying really it's something that we have never heard of. And we're saying these councillors must work very closely with the residents and must always consult the residents before they come up and formulate any bylaws. They must always be in touch with the residents. One other thing that we'll call for to this council that is coming, we believe they will even revisit some of the bylaws that are governing the city, because we are finding that there are some bylaws that are actually in operation, but they were formulated perhaps 50 years ago. Yes. when a bylaw is being put in place, it will be actually be in tandem and agreeing with the system of the time. But honestly, can we really remain in a bylaw that was formulated in 1963, 1913, they way back, and we're saying we will use it today? We should look at the systems that are actually currently prevailing at the moment and make sure they formulate the bylaws that agree with the time. There's the one thing that we look at this council really to do. But emphasis, they must avoid corrupt tendencies. When it comes to giving out tenders, when it comes out perhaps to allocation of former residential stands, those are key areas that we want to see a total fairness really opening. We want to see Bulawayo growing, and we are saying our council must try at all costs to avoid giving land to these bogus land developers who tend to to cheat people at the end of the day, building substandard properties, which at the end of the day are not actually good for our people to live in. We are saying a council must exercise its best and make sure it supervises whosoever has been given something to do in Bulawayo. Supervision is something that is very important. We are calling upon the council management to be on the ground and make sure the supervisors and make sure everything is done to standard. We want Bulawayo to remain a better Bulawayo.
From the previous councillors that were in Bulawayo, that were elected in Bulawayo, despite the fact of corruption, what were some of the failures that they had as far as the promises that they made to the people of Bulawayo?
We have got this issue, which I'm sure most residents in Bulawayo are actually talking about. There are these jobs that are given to communities by councillors. I tell you, there's a serious cry in that one, because it will seem like the councillors have got their favored people. They would always want to operate. Whereas our expectation is when this thing came on to, when it was introduced to say, we want communities to participate and perhaps participating in maintaining cleanliness and so forth in the city. We hope that this thing will be put on a rotational system to say, let this group now operate, let's say for 3 or 6 months, whatever will be agreed on. But what is obtaining on the ground, we are seeing same people. And when you check very closely, those are actually close friends, or those are actually party members of a council. And what we are getting, although we don't have much proof on that, what we are getting down on the country, but what exactly is happening? Why don't these people change and open opportunity to others? We are feeling councillors are using these people. When these people get whatever they are getting as their rewards or salaries per se, I'm sure a certain fraction is given to the council. That's why the person will remain, because these people are actually working for the council. And we are calling upon a fair way of dealing with this. We want to see groups actually rotating. Everybody in the community must be involved. Favoritism, nepotism must be avoided at all costs.
Does Bulawayo offer a good quality in terms of life to the people of Bulawayo?
Bulawayo has got a history. We have never had a problem with our council administrators. They are the people that have always shown and demonstrated and given their best. From the past town clerks, directors and so forth, they are the people who have actually shown and demonstrated much commitment and love for the city of Bulawayo. And perhaps most probably it is just because most of them that people have been operating since, let's say, I'll take it from after independence. They are the people who are actually originally from this region, and they value Bulawayo as the center, as the heart of the region. So that's why we have had them really committing themselves until later stages when experiencing some corrupt tendencies that we have really seen being actually practiced by the city fathers themselves. You know, when you are a father, you start exercising, you demonstrate a certain weakness of a corrupt tendency. You open a leeway for your children. There is no way we can actually want to see not some number of directors that was I can do it, but we are saying Bulawayo all in all, has always had a very good record. They try their best. That's why it is clearly, it's no secret, Bulawayo is reckoned as one of the best managed cities. That history has always been there for quite some time. It is among the top well-managed cities, although it's going through difficulties like the issue of water, but it becomes the best managed city. That was the people that are actually operating within are the people who are really committed and are prepared to give their best.
What are some of the successful initiatives that BURA has embarked on from the time that it was started in 1964?
Some of the greatest achievements that we are really proud of as the Bulawayo United Residents Association is the intervention that we did at Mpilo in 2008 at the height of our economic meltdown. Mpilo was almost closing. The management thought of coming to meet the people of Bulawayo, and they came through BURA. They told us of the difficulties and the challenges that we're facing. With no waste of time as BURA, we intervened by calling an all stakeholders meeting, which was attended by all undertakers that are here in Bulawayo. The governor's office also was part of that. NGOs in Bulawayo were part of that. Business communities in Bulawayo were that. They came up with a strategy, and one of the major things for coming together as stakeholders, we agreed to say, let us come with a total restoration of Mpilo. And I'm glad even to say, all the efforts that are still happening at Mpilo today to make Mpilo a better place are still a follow-up from that initiative that we took. We really intervened, and you could see, go to Mpilo today. Mpilo is really a hospital which actually reflects its name, Mpilo, meaning life. You go there, you have hope that you'll buy. We really intervened, and you'll agree with me, at that time, the mortuary that was operational at Mpilo was full beyond its capacity. It had a capacity of having 30 bodies at any given time. By the time when we intervened as Bulawayo United Residents Association, there were 231 bodies, and people were having difficulties of even claiming their relatives for burial just because of the economic meltdown of that period. But as BURA, we never looked back. We made an effort. I tell you, we did manage to bury more than 85 bodies through a system my government we call pauper burial. We intervened. We were on the ground. The residents of Bulawayo stood up and were on the ground working with the undertakers and transport operators who really provided transport. It was really a marvelous achievement that we are really proud of, and we are really saying, I want to take this opportunity, and I send a very big thank you to the Bulawayo community for that support. There we never stopped. We intervened, and we saw a lot of improvement that is happening at Mpilo. Like years of late, look at the front line, the front wall that actually starts from the main gate leading coming to the high school, Mziliga's High School. That's the BURA initiative, where we felt, after having done much, we felt the security of the hospital was one key area which really needs to be attended. And I want to say that project is not yet complete, because our thrust was to see, not was, I want to say is, to see Mpilo totally secure, having that wall. And it is still an ongoing program that we are still appealing to people, and we're appealing to those people that have got the interest of really making sure that the hospital works. That wall that we are seeing in the front of that's the initiative. It was done by the residents. The residents contributed $1 each. And we are still calling upon those people that will come, even the corporate world. We are appealing to them to come support. Mpilo must be secure, must have really a wall. Today, all the wards are really looking so marvelous. They are just so good. A week or so, we were there celebrating 60 years of Mpilo. Another week before that, we were there, one diasporian person who is actually a resident, actually a citizen of this region, had supported and renovated Ward 6. I tell you, it's marvelous. And we are proud to say all these are a follow-up on the call that we made in 2008 to say we want to see the total restoration of Mpilo. Those are some of the initiatives that BURA has actually really led, and we are saying let that go on.
Another interesting question. I'm curious to know what do you think about the transport system of Bulawayo?
A transport system ya Bulawayo, although isi-improvile siyenzile lokhu esasekukhalela ukuthi we want to see ama-transport operators begroupa bethi come into organized associations. But although we are feeling there is still much to be improved in those associations, we are looking and calling professionalism within the associations, because some of them, when you look at how their guys are doing during the days, during the time when they're operating, you are finding there is a lack somehow of professionalism. When you recall when Chovambayi was started, they had really set a very good precedent of how these operators were, because even public relations actually was really good. The drivers and the conductors knew how to actually to speak well to people, they speak nice to people. We are saying we want to see all those things happen. And we're calling upon our local authority to open more avenues and allow more players to come into this, because it has now proved to be one key industry that is actually providing jobs. Because if there's a driver and a conductor, we are saying there are two families that are actually having a livelihood. There is actually much improvement that can be done within the transport system in Bulawayo, but we want to appreciate what has been done that is in place now. But we are calling upon those who get into this business to be more serious and be considerate and be respectful of the people that they are serving. That is key.
How does the migration of people leaving the city, others coming to the city, affect the community of Bulawayo?
Well, migration of people either from or to, it will always be there. Like, for instance, now we realize most of the elderly people that actually have been here in Bulawayo and demonstrating uthando le commitment yokusebenzela uBulawayo for no reward, sebe migrate besiya emakhaya after the opening of ukuthi abantu there's land abaningi sebekhulile abadala sebesiya ekulimeni. And I'm seeing even some of the people, middle-aged people, are developing that interest on land, because I tell you, when you talk of land, most of even young people, when young people, I'm talking those who are in their late 40s or so forth, they are also actually having that interest again. They are moving into the countryside. Whereas there are some people who are still having that interest of coming into the city. But the unfortunate thing for these who are coming into the city, they are lacking that background of self-commitment to develop Bulawayo. That's why most of them, whenever things happen, you find they are jumpy, not actually really understanding where Bulawayo is coming from and where Bulawayo is going to. We feel, life needs to have that elderly guidance one way or the other. We are not saying youngsters have got nothing to offer. They've got a lot to offer, but let them offer under certain guidance with a full understanding. Like, for instance, we talk of saying every place has got its culture. You need to understand the culture of the place so that you fit very well and you perform very well.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu baba uDube for your time with us.
Siyabonga Mkandla.
Maybe ngingabula ama last words apho ngafuna ukuwashare with the people of Bulawayo. Ngafuna ukubazisa.
Perhaps one thing that I would love to say ebantwini bakobulawayo, I would like to call abantu bakobulawayo, can we please bantu bakobulawayo city find each other? We need to find each other and come together, have a full understanding ukuthi Bulawayo is our place. Bulawayo needs us. For Bulawayo to keep developing, we need to be a united people. We need to be a focused people. Let us show interest. And to our residents, I want to say, under very difficult conditions, asisekele nini council yethu ngokudropa in ama rates ethu sibhadale whatever legally. As BURA, we have made a position with council. The council I accept abantu whatever legally they have. Ukuthi kubuye siyakhuthaza ukuthi abantu bakithi sizama ukubhadala. Yes, we're going through a difficult time, but asibhadaneni kwenze idorobho lethuthuke. Ngangithi mina ebantwini ungavela uphume ofisini yeCouncil uqeda ukubhadala, mana lapha ubambe iqolo udemand i-service delivery. It's easier that way.
Thank you so much Baba uDube ngokuba lathi ku-program today.
Thank you.
You have been watching Community Conversations with me, Ishmael Mkandla. Today, my guest was Mr. Winos Dube, who's the chairperson of Bulawayo United Residents Association. Join us same time next week on another program.